Good morning, my brothers and sisters, on this, our 7th edition of GMG Movies, and we want to thank you for joining us on the Good Morning Guys podcast. We are joining you live and in person on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as we're going to be talking about the movies we love to watch, because you can't play a movie like a video game.
You can't. Whoa! There's interactive movies nowadays.
Wait, are there?
Yes, there are. Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
fair.
And this is supposed to be in
Fair
person.
enough.
I didn't know. I missed the
You
memo.
didn't know that? Yeah,
oh,
it is.
Goodness gracious.
I am one of your hosts, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge of the jury and the executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novazel.
I am the executioner of fake news and spoilers, but we're gonna spoil the heck out of the movie today.
It's you, a Patrick.
It's me, a spoiler man.
Spoiler man?
I don't know.
That's what they call you.
I feel like that should be my superhero name. I go around. I'm an evil villain. I go around spoiling things for people.
Spoiling everything? Oh, man.
It's a boy. No.
No, what would be funny is you go and spoil everything for people, but on your terms. So anytime someone tries to spoil something, you just obliterate them off the planet.
Ooh, dang.
You destroy them, obliterate them.
No, I'm more of the annoying villain. Son of a gun. This guy's got to do this to me. Ugh.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
You want to keep it PG? PG-13.
Yeah, I want to reach more
You don't be an R-rated
people.
villain?
I want to be, I'm not.
Okay, you want to reach more people with your annoyingness. That's fair.
Yes.
That sounds about it. That sounds
I've heard about Spoiler Man.
Oh, not him again. He's the worst. So if you did not read the episode title, we'll mention it here. Super Mario Bros. They came out with a movie, and it's a good one, and we're going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do a plot. We're not going to.
I mean, it's Mario. There's no plot in the Mario.
If you've played a Mario game, you know the plot. So it does not veer very far off of that, other than some musical numbers, which were fantastic. So let's jump into it. Spoilers. Super Mario Brothers, the movie. What did you love? Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't know if there's any ugly.
Ugly?
There are one or two bad things that we'll talk about.
All right. Okay.
That I don't know. I'll pepper it in. I don't really want to start or end with bad, so we're just going to talk about the movie. I almost said talk about the game. Actually, before we talk about the movie, how much Mario have you actually played? How much baggage do you go into? And not in a bad way baggage, but what's the spread of Mario IP that you have put pretty good time into?
Oh man, I grew up, one of the first games I ever played was Super Mario Brothers.
You and me both, brother.
So and I played the Mario Bros, the Donkey Kong one. I played. I don't remember what's that called. It's just Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I guess I played that one.
Yeah, it was pretty much the scene in the movie where Donkey Kong and Mario fight each other. That's the game.
Yeah. I played Super Mario 2, 3. I didn't play the SNES. I didn't have an SNES, so
you didn't play Super Mario World?
So I did, but I only played it when my son got his Switch. So I played that.
Okay. All right. Better late than never.
Mario 64. I played the Galaxy, Odyssey, all those Paper Marios and things like that. So I have played a wide variety of Super Mario games. I don't know if I played them all.
Nice.
Have you
played
some
the
of the
Paper Marios?
Those are turn-based, right?
They are.
So
I already knew the answer.
My son played it, but I didn't care for it. But I played all the other side stories ones. I played the Toad treasure tracker that was on the Switch. That was really cool. Nice. That Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury that came out on the Switch. Unbelievable. I love the heck out of it. So much fun.
I played a little bit of that.
Yeah, so much fun. But so I have a lot of the music, the characters, storylines. You're
well versed,
even though it's the same storyline across all Mario's. And there was even the Luigi's Mansion. I didn't play it. My son played it, but a little bit of that was in the game too. So a lot of callbacks to a lot of games.
Pretty sure we panned that one officially on the podcast.
Yeah.
We don't have much to say about that.
It was boring.
Yeah.
I know some people liked it though.
Yeah, they did, and good for them. I'm happy for them. I've played a lot of the Marios, pretty much most of the Mario games pre-Switch. I have not played Odyssey. Anything that's on the Switch, I haven't played yet. I haven't played the Paper Mario games either very much. I've played enough of them to know that I like them, but I just haven't. I've never owned the games, and I just played at like friends' houses and stuff, or family houses.
Yeah.
When I visited. Another one that I really love that's not as commonly played is Super Mario RPG, which was turn-based, but it was like semi-action turn-based. Like you did have to press buttons to do extra moves and stuff. That was a classic. That was on the SNES, the SNES.
Oh man, I would love Super Mario like RPG game.
Yeah,
I don't mean like because a lot of Mario games now it's just like it's another outfit or another.
Well,
patch,
and it's
like,
it's the one that's on SNES is actually from like a asymmetrical, like almost like a Hades or a Diablo point of view.
Oh, really?
So it's very interesting. It would be fun to even play it with your son, like get your son to play it.
Yeah.
And it's, in good RPG fashion, there's lots of reading involved. So I don't know how much you would like that. Well, you lost me with the reading. But yeah, well versed in Mario. But like we said, the plot's usually the same, and the movie did not disappoint. But I think it stepped it up a notch. Like you got a good origin story.
Yes, and I was not expecting an origin story that actually. I mean, I could follow it. It was
so
Mario
has a family. Like
I was explaining to my
parents,
wife about how
siblings and
he was in the real world and then goes into a Mario world, like a CG. And she's like, she's like, wait a second, there was real live action? And I was like, oh, no, it's not live action. They're actual like cartoon characters in the real world.
Now, that's a shout out to the live action movies, right? Because I don't think that whole idea of them being in the real world and going to... Is that canon? Like, is that in any of the games? Like, is Mario Odyssey?
I don't...
Because they go to Kong... So. They go to Dong Kong City or Kong Dong City?
no, it's New Donk City, I think it's called.
Oh, New Donk City. Just to be clear, Donk City.
Yes.
Just in case you're getting confused or I'm getting confused.
It's kind of like New York, but New Donk.
New Donk.
Yeah.
So there's no connection to the real world. So I feel like in this movie, that was like the shout out to the original, like the original live action.
I wouldn't put.
Come on.
I wouldn't put those two. I wouldn't say they wanted to shout out to the original Super Mario movie.
They should. Come on. Classic.
Dennis Hopper, the him and his cornrows that he had.
Oh my gosh, those cornrows!
Come on,
get out of here with those cornrows.
Those Goombas. They were just
with the little heads,
like from Beetlejuice.
Shrunken heads, yeah, exactly.
Hey, here we are with the Goombas. We got little heads and big trench coats.
If they're gonna do if you're taking a series and making it live action. That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the real live action movie.
Speaking of that, let's put a pin in Mario for a second.
Put a pin in why we're on this podcast.
Exactly. Have you seen the trailer for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie?
Yeah, it has the feeling
where they're like really teenagers.
It has the feeling of Spider-Verse,
right? And the humor is like just right. Like I was laughing. So I was belly laughing while watching the trailer. Yeah. So
it just goes.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue. Goo. Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
I look forward to watching that. And James was pumped. Like he was just like, yeah, let's go. So, all right, we can take the pin out. Back to Mario. So yeah, we get a little bit of an origin story. We get to find out, like I said earlier, that Mario and Luigi have a family. Like parents and siblings, and they have a little bit of drama going on, a little bit of in need of counseling, therapy kind of feelings, where Mario feels a little bit of I guess, how would you say this, like not believed in, as it were.
He's not supported.
Not supported, by his family, and so to kind of relieve the pressure, he goes and plays Nintendo. That was a little meta from him playing Nintendo, but that was cute. I like that. But yeah, getting a bit of that dynamic in that setup before, the dog that looked like an evil Doug, that they face off with in the bathroom. That was a pretty menacing dog. Like I would not want to meet that dog on the street. He would mess you up as long as his owner's not looking.
Yeah.
But eventually, we get into the Mushroom Kingdom.
Hold on, before we get there, before we get to the Mushroom Kingdom, they want to save Brooklyn because they want their name to be out there because they're trying to get their plumbing business off the ground. And so they go below the streets in Brooklyn. And as they're walking down the stairs, I don't know if you noticed it, but there was a sign that said level 1-2.
Oh,
which
did
is,
it?
Which
no.
is a callback to the level 1-2 in the original Mario game. And it does the music at that moment. I'm like, oh, it was beautiful. It was so so small, so perfect, and they do that throughout the entire movie. Is just those small musical notes from the games, and they're done in like a orchestral type of way. So it's really done really well.
And they interweaved it so well. Like they had music from every single game, but it sounded like one soundtrack. Good.
When the Princess Peaches, when the Princess Castle is shown for the first time, as Mario and Toad are looking off the distance, it does the Mario 64 music. I'm like, oh my gosh, like
takes you back.
It was very nostalgic, but like in a very, very good way of nostalgia, because it just brought back a lot of memories of me playing games. I don't like of that music coming, just that small, 3, 4, 5 notes or whatever it is, and then that was it. Just brought back a lot of memories when I was a kid. So it was really it did its job in the musical sense.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the good things, and talking about the good, bad, and the ugly. The music wasn't just good; it was great.
Yeah.
Like great music, great soundtrack, all the songs. I love the 8-bit, bit tunes, classic sound. But when you put it to orchestra music and like just add the different layers and the strings and harps and trumpets and all those things, electric guitars, whatever, pianos, it's so good. Like I could listen to it for hours. Like, so good, so good.
Yeah.
Another good thing I thought overall was just the humor. Like it was pure Illumination style. Like it wasn't quite as wacky as Groot and Despicable Me and all that, but it got a little wacky sometimes, and it was fun. Like I think it definitely stepped it up a notch. I don't think the Mario games are really known for their humor. Like they have some slapstick stuff, but for the most part, like you're on your way to save Peach.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah. The humor in this was done really well, and they had some good voice actors with Chris Pratt, Keegan-Michael Key, and Jack Black as Bowser. I don't know if there could have been a better Bowser voice. Like, and when I'm like, oh, Jack Black as Bowser, and that's gonna be good. But I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Like, of course, Jack Black's gonna sing. Of course, he's gonna sing.
No, I never put that together watching the trailer. I was like, oh, it's going to be funny and silly because it's Jack Black. But when he started singing, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be Jack Black all the way.
So it was so well done. And I was so happy that about that song. And he goes on and sings another like verse later in the movie.
Yep.
And really at the end,
when
and
then Mini Bowser.
So I came home after seeing it with my son, and I showed my wife. I was like, hey, listen to this song, and it was a live action one of Jack Black.
Yes, we watched that too after the movie.
And so I was like, oh, I haven't seen this one, so we watched it together, and it was like 2.5, 3 minutes long.
Yeah, full song.
Yeah, full song. So if you haven't seen it, go check that out. I would just type in Jack Black Peaches, and it's a live action version of it.
Live action Peaches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
you either get that or you'll get some dude with like a bushel of peaches. Just man, like these peaches, these are really good.
Peaches? No, you don't want the what is it? The President's of the United States Peaches song. You don't want that one.
Oh, what? That's nothing wrong with that. I'd take that as like.
I guess that's not the song we're talking about though.
Mix it up. Yeah. Okay. Just to be clear, that's a real miss. They could have like done that at some point just for fun.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll save that for the sequel.
Probably
millions
not.
Of peaches. Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know. Who knows?
How would that work? Millions of peaches? Like, are they just getting like all of a sudden Peach like clones herself and there's millions of her?
That is wild. This isn't Fast and the Furious. Well, they're just making stuff up.
Not yet.
Yeah. What I mean, like this movie, as I'm watching it, and over the course of the entire movie, I'm like, they are packing in like the entire saga of Mario from all the video games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is there going to be a sequel? Like, how can they, what else are they going to be able to do? Because I feel like they jam packed so much into this 90-minute movie, you know?
Now, you say that, and by the end of the movie, I was like, that was criminal how little Yoshi was utilized. Because through the movie, they're traveling, they do the Mario Kart stuff, they do multiple, worlds and areas of Mario.
I love how they put the Mario Kart in there. They're like, hey, let's take a shortcut, and we're going to take our carts.
Of course. That makes total sense why that would work.
On a rainbow.
Yeah. But they're traveling, and they see like a herd of Yoshis, and they just kind of walk, and they run by and wave at them and stuff.
Like,
and
it's
I'm
like
wait.
Jurassic Park running by.
Yeah, it's like, welcome to Yoshi Park. But yeah, and then to have that ending where they show the Yoshi egg in Brooklyn in the sewer, I'm like, okay, Mario 2, let's go. Get Yoshi in there.
You can't, I mean, like, this movie was already tracking to be huge, and what was it? It was like almost $350 million over the weekend.
Yeah, man, it racked it in.
Unbelievable.
Raked it in. Racked it in?
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
I get you.
Yeah, it works for us.
I'm picking up what you're
in.
putting down.
You know what, man? I'll
tell you what, man.
We know what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're professionals. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I loved that. Love the what did you think of the brother sibling dynamic between Mario and Luigi?
Of course, Luigi,
the scared little brother.
Of course, Luigi was the one that got captured. I mean, like he's always been just like the player 2 of the Mario universe.
Yeah.
He's always been the guy that's hasn't gotten the limelight, as it were. He's just the younger brother. He's the younger brother, right? Or are they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think officially he's the younger brother.
They had mustaches. I didn't really know how old they were.
Yeah,
they're still living with their family. They're trying to start a business.
I tell you what, when they showed the flashback of playing in the sandbox and without the mustaches on their face, I think they needed little baby mustaches. It was a little weird. Yeah. The baby Mario and baby Luigi looked a little weird. I mean, I've seen them in I don't know if you played Yoshi's Island 1 or 2 or whatever, but the little babies always threw me off. I need Mario to always have a mustache, like born with a mustache. That's Mario.
But there was one part where Mario was battling Donkey Kong, and he got a power up, and it was a blue mushroom.
Oh,
and
I knew right away.
My son was like, "Don't eat that!" In the middle of the movie theater, he yells, "He's like, don't eat that! It's gonna make you small!" And he eats it, and he gets real small. My son's like, "I told you!"
That's hilarious. I was
like, "You're so cute."
Yeah, I was Clark, like the way Clark was to everybody else. I was to Mindy. I was like, "He's gonna shrink. Just watch." Spoilers. Yeah. That was fun. I really liked the fight and the dynamic between Donkey Kong and Mario.
That was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, right?
A little weird. I'm gonna say I'm not a big fan of Seth Rogen since he hacked up Pumbaa in Lion King.
Yeah, I don't know. Seth Rogen just seems like he's more of like an adult voiceover than in a Mario movie. I don't know. It just felt like he was in the wrong place. He did a good job, but it just felt like he was in the wrong place.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think to get Mario ready for that was when he was at Peach's castle, and he had to go through that like Mario Maker type of level. I thought that was a really good like precursor for the rest of the game, the rest of the movie. But I also thought it was weird that he doesn't like the mushrooms. Like, is that?
I thought that was hilarious that they made him not like mushrooms. So it's like his main power up. Like, you grown up like, yeah, Mario and mushrooms, duh. And then he's like, ugh, yeah. When they're eating the spaghetti and he's like, get these. You can eat my mushrooms, Luigi. Like, take them off. It's like, wait, he doesn't like mushrooms. That's quite a setup for then. Here, you need to eat this in order to grow.
Right.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And that went along with too, like, that's what I Need a Hero came on. Like, this felt a little like Guardians meets Mario. Like, they picked some music that was just like perfect.
We did in our podcast, I don't know, it might have been, several episodes ago, we did our top music, top songs of all time. And I Need a Hero and Take Me On. Are on my top 25 songs. It might have been my top 10 songs. And both of those songs were in here. I'm like, this movie is fantastic. The music in this movie, not only is it Mario, but they're giving me some of my favorite songs on here.
Give you some pop music, goes right along with it. Yeah. It is fantastic. Yeah, so Mario and Luigi, I want to say that there was a bit of a dynamic where I thought maybe Luigi would kind of discover his confidence outside of Mario before, the end where they're fighting Bowser together and, they fight strong together, etc.
Mhm.
I thought it was going to be when he gets imprisoned, right, in the pit with the lava.
Yeah.
I really thought they were setting up for him to like help lead all the captured prisoners out of the pit before everything went down. So that was the only thing that I was like, Luigi, I need you to come into your own, like not just in the context of Mario, but like you as an individual, get a little stronger on your own. But
maybe he'll get a side story one of these days.
I think he will.
How well this movie is done.
Maybe
And
Mario too.
I think another
they could do
reason
that.
why this movie did so well is just the animation. The animation felt like felt like the game.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Like the newer games, like the 3D Odyssey and Galaxies and things like that. Felt like it was just like you're watching the game. It felt really good. Yeah,
for sure. Yep, it was good stuff. What did you think of the Mushroom Kingdom and Princess Toadstool, the toads, the many toads? Did you have any thoughts on those folk?
Well, like in what sense? Like they're
I don't know. Did you like the way they portrayed Peach? She was a bit of a was like a one-woman show. Like she's like, here I am running. I thought it was interesting they gave a little backstory to the fact that she's probably an earthling, as it were, a human.
Yeah,
that stumbled upon a pipe and kind of stumbled upon the toads, and they were like, you know what? You're kind of cute. You should be in charge of us. And she became the queen.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was
she's the only non-toad in the land.
Yeah, she's Princess Toadstool.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense when everything else in this movie or in the Mario games are all characters and they're all like villains of some sort of species or whatever. And then she's just kind of like the same as Mario, so it kind of makes sense that she's also a human.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah. But I love like it kind of with Princess when she was going through that Mario Maker, showing Mario how it's done.
Oh yeah, being like, I got it on the first try.
She floated with her dress. I'm like, that's like stuff like that. So Mario small. It really just made me appreciate how much TLC they put into this movie.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like as soon as she started the course, I'm like, okay, when are you gonna float? I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for the dress to go, whoop, and then she floats across.
Yeah,
that was cool. I thought I really liked the building of the team. The going to whatever it was called, New Donk Jungle Temple City.
Yeah,
to go see the Kongs. Cranky Kong, he didn't feel quite as cranky as he is in the. I mean, he's still funny, but I need him to be a little crankier, like a little more old school. But he was fine. The Kongs were fun. He had a lot of Kongs, and carts. All the.
I love when they're like they get to make their own carts, and it's just like the game where you're building your cart.
You choose your wheels. You choose your body.
And then Toad comes in with
his monster truck. Yes, that was hilarious.
That was so fun.
Yeah, that was super fun. And then of course throughout it they have the Bowser. The whole Bowser crew, the Koopas. What did you think of Bowser? Star of the show, Jack Black. Did he steal the show?
I think. In your opinion, it showed. Like I love when they in movies where they give a villain some sort of kind of empathize with him. Like all he wanted, he wanted Peach. He
wanted someone to enjoy the Power Star with.
He was doing it all the wrong way, but it was it gave him some sort of, I don't know, like it humanized him a little bit rather than just being a villain. So I kind of liked that, and him just doing like the serenading of the Peaches song. He's like, I just want this person, or I don't know if it was Peach, but in general, but he just wanted someone to rule the world or rule the galaxy with. So I thought it was a good characterization of Bowser in the movie.
Yeah, Jack Black rocked it, and
he did.
Like adding his personality to Bowser was just perfect. It wasn't him trying to be Bowser. It was like a perfect mix of Jack Black and Bowser. bringing the best of what they represent to the table. I loved the build up to that. Like, you know, he's like, you start out in the Snow Kingdom and fighting the penguins and them throwing snowballs at him and it doing nothing, and then just burning their house down and getting the star, and then just like his slow approach to the Mushroom Kingdom and all the back and forth between them. It was really fun. It just gave a nice build up to then their final fight in on the ship and in Brooklyn. Now, speaking of the final fight, I need to bring up the one bad thing. The thing that and I know this is a kid's movie. I know that logic often gets thrown out the window, but there's some forms of logic that I cannot get behind. And it is the logic of sending Bullet Bill, this huge, destructive Bullet Bill, into the pipe. The only exit that Mario knew to get to his world. What would make him not understand the fact if I went through here from my world, whatever I send back through, it's going to go to my world as well. Mm-hmm. And he just blows it to heck, and then he sucks everyone in. And I would have just appreciated it more if he was smart enough to use the bullet to like try to destroy Bowser's ship, and then accidentally it like bounces off the ship or it misses Bowser and then it hits the pipe. Instead, he looks at the pipe and he's like, what would be a good thing to blow up? This pipe. The pipe should be blown up. And then he, you know, tricks Bullet Bill into flying into it. That's the only that's it's just poor Mario logic. Come on, man, you're better than that. He's a smart guy. He's a logical plumbing guy. He's got the smarts.
I mean,
the smarts. He knows how pipes work.
You couldn't take down Bill, but you know what? Let's lick his eye, and this is gonna change the course of everything.
That's like, true. It's like, here, I tickle your eyeball. Gotcha.
I mean, that's just totally kid movie. I mean, that's
that I could look around because that is kid movie. But sending it to the pipe is just unforgivable. Like you put your city in danger,
right?
And but it's set up, of course, them getting now. See, that's another shout out to the movie, teleporting Koopa, Bowser, and his cronies to Brooklyn, just like they did in the Mario movie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
that's not video game based.
I guess
that's movie based. They're honoring the second best Mario movie to ever be released. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right.
What about the final fight showdown against Bowser? What'd you think?
That was good. I loved him grabbing that superstar, and
and then having that Captain Marvel moment. Where Bowser punches them and they just don't move. They're just like, you can't hurt us.
Oh yeah, I mean, just when he grabs that superstar and it's just like, what? How's the music go when you grab the star? It's
I don't.
Really fast motion.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah,
yeah, and then get the jazzed up orchestrated version. That
if you do that music, if you hum that music or whatever around your kids, they will immediately have energy.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Test it out.
No, I'm not going to.
It's like clean your room and then just start doing that music.
Okay, that's a good idea. Do the dishes. All right. It's like a bit of reverse Mario psychology. I like that. I'm going to give that a whirl.
Yeah, see what happens. Get back to me.
All right. That's my homework for the week. You have the nose spray that Ronnie prescribed, and I have Power Star coercion to get my kids
Power
to do
Star
stuff.
coercion.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to speak about, to put out there? Do you have a rating?
I do have a rating. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Wow.
I loved, I mean,
high praise.
Outside of that one little bad thing, like I was smiling throughout this movie.
Yeah.
The music was done beautifully. The voice acting, as some people say, like, it's Chris Pratt not doing, or Mario not being cast by maybe an Italian or something like that. I think it was fine the way that he's an Italian family that lives in Brooklyn. They didn't, have a full-blooded Italian, feel like it was racially insensitive or things like that. It was just he just had an accent. Yeah. I think it was. I think it was fine.
It was cool though that the original voice of Mario was the dad's voice and the Jumpman's voice, Charles Martinet.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he did the
Okay.
dad's voice, and he did Jumpman. What is his name? It's the one that was at the restaurant that did like the little jump and was playing the game. He
Oh,
did
okay.
both their voices.
But I think the callbacks to almost all of the games
Yep.
was fantastic. The story arc was, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it was a standard Mario, but that's exactly what Mario is, of
Yeah.
trying to save Peach. I love how they get to Peach's castle for the first time, and the guards are like, "Yeah, she's in another castle." Like, I loved that.
Oh, that was a
Those
nice
kinds of
touch.
things was all
Yeah.
across the movie. I loved it. I thought it was a great. I thought the ending was great. I thought having Bowser small playing a piano inside of a cage. He's gonna
Right.
get out, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, he's still got to have his
yeah.
Koopalings. So
So
I'm not sure if his Koopalings are going to break him out or he's going to find that special someone to make the Koopalings. I don't know how that works. It's not really explained in the
I
games
don't know.
for good reason.
Yeah.
They're just going to be there, I think.
But yeah, this is a movie I would watch over and over again. I think this is a movie that I would probably watch when it comes out on streaming. I'm going to watch it again. When Mario 2 eventually comes out, I'm going to be watching it again. This is going to be probably in my top movies of all time kind of thing.
How many movies? Top 25?
I'm gonna say top 50. I'm gonna say top 50.
Yeah, top 50?
Without ranking it. Like I
Okay.
I love
I mean, you
this.
give it a
This
10 out of 10, so it needs to be in the top 50, if not top 100.
Oh yeah, it's definitely in the top.
Unless
50.
you have 50 or 100 10 out of 10
But there's
movies.
I watch a lot of movies. If you've listened to the most recent podcast where I talked about how I watched 5 movies and 5.5 movies, I love movies. I love cinematic adventures, and this one was a cinematic adventure.
Yeah,
and it was
fun.
It brought my childhood back up. It was very nostalgic. They did a lot of things that were perfect, and I wouldn't change it. A couple things. But there's small things that like Yoshi not being in it, like that's fine. I mean, there's to be in the sequel for sure. They're obviously going to be doing some sort of galaxy kind of thing because they talked about the galaxy. So
yeah, I mean, they alluded to also with the star, which shout out to that little like morbid star that was always like wanting them to die, and it's like, we're saved, boo.
yeah.
I love that little star was like morbidly cute.
I loved it. I love this movie.
Which is a galaxy star.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
What about you?
In terms of a video game movie, it is a 10 out of 10. In terms of a Mario story, it's the best Mario story there is. Like, but that's kind of because the Mario bar is a little lower. Maybe the Paper Mario or the Origami Mario, or maybe those RPGs have better stories. But for the most part, Mario stories have never been they've been mostly superficial at best. But also a factor for me outside of my small complaint of sending Bullet Bill into the pipe and licking Bullet Bill's eye. Everything else was just fun, enjoyable. It was a nostalgia trip. But in terms of a story, it still is very, it just didn't, I still haven't, I think it's because of Pixar, maybe, and Disney, they kind of spoil me. And so that's like the gold standard for me in animated.
I thought this one was up to that level.
Really? It didn't get me like that. I mean, I felt like they were making a good effort.
So yeah, with Pixar, I mean, they pull at your heartstrings on every one of their movies.
Yeah.
Were you wanting that to happen? Because it didn't. It wasn't.
It wasn't necessarily just pulling at the heartstrings. There's an emotional depth that they bring to multiple characters.
Yeah.
In their films, and this one Mario had the depth, but nobody else did.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Bowser kind of did, but it was Jack Black's silliness, so it kind of distracted from the deeper possible parts of it. So Mario was deep in his story, but I felt like Luigi still could have had more, and others, and so that's Pixar Disney kind of pulled that off a little better. But I still give it an 8 out of 10. It's still a movie that I would recommend. 8's good.
8's
wow. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just I have a high standard for these kind of things. I mean, when you compare it to Inside Out, like there's no way Inside Out a 10 out of 10, and then I can say Mario's a 10 out of 10. There's no comparison.
But I mean, that's hard to compare when there's telling two different stories.
But it's still comparable.
In the fact that it's CG?
In fact of you can rate them, and one's a 10 and one's an 8.
I will take your video game score then.
Yeah, that's fine. You can take my video game score. I agree with you. In the video game movie sense, 10 out of 10. In the overall animated overall movie sense, it's an 8 out of 10. So,
all right, all right.
It lacks a little depth for me and a little bit of weird, Mario logic that I have a higher standard for Mario than he has for himself. So, I expect better next time, Mario. Think smarter. Think like a plumber. You never blow up the pipes that you're fixing your whole life. Isn't that like a doctor? Like I shall not cause any harm to pipes. Like that's a plumber's.
That's the plumber's
Corey
mom.
Smith, you need to get in here. Tell us Corey Fouch. Tell us the mantra. You should be listening right now.
Yeah. What is that? What is that code that they call the doctors?
It's like the
code of ethics or the.
Yeah, it's got a name though. It's not the code of ethics. It's like the.
I'm gonna look it up.
The Morse code. That's not it. Boop, 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 boop. It's the
Hippocratic Oath.
The Hippocratic Oath. Yes.
Yep,
So Mario has to have like a.
He was more of like a
Hippocratic oath.
He was more of like a hypocritic oath.
He was a hypocrite. Like he's a plumber and he's destroying pipes. You don't do that. That should never be an option. Make it run into a mushroom. Like there were these huge mushrooms. He hated mushrooms. Destroy them. Blow them up with Bullet Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't get past that. It just happens sometimes. I get hung up on something and I can't see past it. But I still love the movie. I'll still watch it again and enjoy it. So, and probably the sequel. I think the sequel could be better. It can build upon it and give us some more depth with Princess Peach, with Luigi.
Bring
give him
Wario and Waluigi.
Oh yeah,
and,
right.
Dr. Mario and
just bring them all in. Ooh, they could do a multiverse in the galaxy, and so there's
so many possibilities.
So many. So yeah, I think that's about it from us. Joiners, well, you know the drill. There's lots of ways to connect with us: Twitch, YouTube, Discord, Facebook, Instagram. We got a Patreon and merch page. You can check us out. You can support us, gear up with us, all that jazz. Linktree.com/thegmgpod. Of course, and as always, if you don't want to toss your attention or a coin our way, you can give us a little review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Spotify, or you can let your voice be heard and call us at 929-GMG Guys. Alrighty then, Patrick, along with you, beloved friends, family, and joiners, go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.